Welcome to Livintuit, the Cocoon Series podcast, where we go beyond prediction and into transformation. I'm Deborah. I'm a transformational healer and intuitive coach, and each week we'll explore how to release the emotional patterns that keep you stuck, rewrite the stories your mind has been practicing, and become the version of yourself that naturally attracts the life and love you truly desire. If you're ready to heal from the inside out, take a deep breath, settle in, and let's begin. Welcome back to the Cocoon series, and I want to talk today about breaking the habit of suffering. What is suffering? Well, contrary to popular belief, suffering is not what the outer circumstances are doing to us. It's our reaction to the outer circumstances and our thoughts. And what happens is when we have these reactions to these outer circumstances, we create limiting beliefs about the world, about others, about us, and we start practicing separation and we limit ourselves to death. And that's what suffering is. Lester Levinson, who is and was my teacher's teacher, simply puts it as if you don't like your life, change your thoughts. And he also says that everything out there is the sum total of your thinkingness. There is no out there. That's what my teacher, Laura Lucille, says. So you can look them both up on YouTube. And I've spent 10 years with Laura and I never get sick of it. I have learned so much on releasing and I implement releasing in my work. If you don't know me, my name's Deborah. I'm a transformational healer and intuitive coach. And what I do is I help you release, rewrite, and receive in your life. That's my tagline. But I help you release through identifying subconscious limiting beliefs. And I help you to rewrite the script of what you want, setting your intention of what you want. And I do this all through energy healing and coaching. So going back to the subject of releasing the habit of suffering, I want to talk about love, health, and wealth. Those subjects, they're hot topics, but I want to talk mostly about love. So when I coach people, especially in love and heartbreak, what I find is that when we go through an experience of heartbreak, we feel like the love that we had with that person gets completely ripped away. And when that happens, we feel paralyzed. We feel all these emotions. And our mind kicks in and says, what's wrong with me? What, who, why didn't they choose me? And why am I not good enough? And sometimes it even activates wounds that were already there from childhood and even adulthood of past experiences that we have not healed. So we allow the mind to run and go on the emotional train, and we are married to those thoughts. We're curled up in a ball. We're suffering because we are a slave and a victim to our own mind. But when you start to release, you start to go into awareness of who you really are, which is beingness, and you start to take a step back from being married to those thoughts and starting to see, wait a minute, that's not who I really am. I am giving my power over to someone who I'm allowing to let me feel, because it's really, you're just reacting to them, feeling like you're not worthy, you're not lovable, there's something wrong with you. And that's what happens when we're growing up. We may have parents that aren't emotionally available and we're like, and we start to make assumptions, and that's when we create concepts and we create limiting beliefs about ourselves and about the world, and that's what we're releasing. So it goes for health and wealth. Especially for wealth, because if you want to really release, start releasing on money because people have concepts about money. And if you don't have enough money, you feel like you're suffering. But what's the cosmic joke is that it's not because of outer circumstances that are creating this. It's because of our own thoughts. And that's a bitter pill to swallow. And if I haven't lost you by now, then great. I hope that you will continue through this whole podcast, because basically, when you take responsibility for your mind is creating everything at every moment, that's a game changer, and you can actually have fun and play in the Leela of life, the movie of life, the dream of life, instead of suffering. And once you wake up from seeing the mind as being very limited and limiting your experiencing, it doesn't mean, I have to say, I feel like I'm a lot more aware and awake. But do I still fall back into those patterns? Absolutely, yes. I'm still a work in progress. But it's so fun to wake up and say, wow, now I can't, now that I see it, I can't unsee it. Now I see that I can't entertain thoughts of low self-worth or what's wrong with me, why don't they love me. It's just thoughts. And what are thoughts? Sounds, images, and sensations. And we let these thoughts rule us and define our life and define our experiencing. And a lot of the times they're not great thoughts. And we practice separation. If someone hurt us, we feel like a victim and we hold on to victimhood. Case in point. Okay, so we've all heard of Mel Robbins. I love Mel Robbins. I love to listen to her. She talks a lot about avoidance and attachment styles. And it's very helpful to see if you're involved with someone who is an avoidant or even narcissistic. It helps to see, oh wow. Or and then you can see whether you are, what kind of attachment style you have. Oh, you're anxious attachment or whatever it is, right? So I'm not poo-pooing this, but let me tell you something. When I had my first heartbreak back in the 80s in college, there were no attachment styles I could refer to. And the basic bottom line was this person decided they did not want to be with me anymore and they wanted to be with someone else. And he married that person. And that was the way it was supposed to be. They ended up having children, and that was the karmic thing that was supposed to happen. It wasn't supposed to be with me. And at the time, I was devastated and heartbroken. But now looking back, I'm like, oh my God, that was a blessing. Okay. But I didn't have anything to refer to as far as, oh, I was anxious attached and he was dismissive avoidant or whatever it was, right? And so it kind of, when I listened to all of that jargon about the attachment styles, and again, I'm not poo-pooing them, but I'm just saying that sometimes it gets overcomplicated. Like, just boil it down to, you know what? This person may have made a decision that they don't think that you two are a good match. And as painful as that is, that can save you a lot of time of trying to justify something that is, I feel like sometimes we hold on to these attachment styles to try to feel better, but it doesn't really make you feel better. It might temporarily make you feel better, but it doesn't take away the facts that, you know what, this person doesn't want to be with you, and and maybe they won't come back. Now, I've done readings on, the possibility of them coming back, but here's how this is how you can get that person to come back. Now, it's not a manipulation, it's not a it's not a spell or anything. It's you changing, you releasing your limiting beliefs about yourself. Because if you choose someone who's not choosing you, who's breadcrumbing you, who's not treating you well, It's because of your own projections that you think about yourself, and they are reflecting it back to you. That's all it is. Bitter pill to swallow. But we like to go into being a victim. It's a habit. It's a long-standing habit. We've done it for incarnations. So, and and it gets even subtler because I was releasing today on something and I caught a thought that was still being making me be a victim about something else, not the love department. And I went, "Oh my God, look at that. Wow." Once you see it, you can't unsee it anymore. You become aware, and that's half the battle. And then you say, "Enough of that." And you release the identification, because people say, well, how do you release? You're releasing the identification with the emotional charge of this thought that you have. And what is the emotional identification? It's the belief. It's like you just let it go, release it. Like, okay, because the more you do the releasing, the more you see that this life is just a movie. It's a dream. You might as well have fun and think of what you want to do instead of what you don't want to do. Think of what you want instead of what you don't want. And the world is all about limitations. You go on social media, you go on the watch the news. It's uh, limiting constantly, and it's drama and it's tragedy. It's not happy. When I post anything positive on social media, I don't get a lot of views because everybody wants drama. They want the juicy negative. I mean, why do we watch movies? We watch all the ones that make us cry, that make us angry. I mean, we love that stuff. We absolutely love it. And my teacher says it all the time. We love it. We don't want to release that. No. But if we saw how much we're holding on to our own thoughts and how limiting they are, it creates so much suffering. It clouds our awareness of beingness that we are. And it's like, oh my God. And so I'm very determined to release myself. But going back to the attachment styles, I think it's just, I think it's great. I'm not poo-pooing it, but it's also just a way, it could be a crutch to try to make yourself feel better for something that is and is not in your control. And what I mean is that if you find yourself with someone who is behaving that way, it's because there is a projection that you have about yourself and about them that's creating that circumstance. So once you release that projection, that person can show up differently, or they leave and somebody else comes along and you show up differently. So if you have, okay, I'll give you another example. When I was growing up, my dad cheated on my mom several times, and I was surrounded by that. I didn't have a lot of faith in marriage and relationships. I saw other men in my neighborhood also having affairs, and I just was like, I don't have a lot of faith in this, right? So it was in my consciousness. So when I had the first heartbreak where that person that I was so-called in love with cheated on me, um, I carried that with me. I carried that wound with me, not only from childhood, but also in adulthood. And then I kept repeating the same experiences. And some of them were not as extreme where I was being cheated on, but they wouldn't choose me and they would choose somebody else. Like they'd break up with me and choose somebody else. So I had this projection of expectation subconsciously. It was not conscious. And I kept going, why is this still happening? So that's what you're releasing. When you're in session, if you work with me, you're going to identify it, you're going to see it, and then you can't unsee it. And you become aware and you're like, oh my God. And then you can completely let it go and say, enough of that. I don't need this anymore. And the same goes for anything else. For health, I had I've had some serious health issues. Recently, I had something very minor, but it was very irritating. And I said, and I was on vacation. And I said, I've had enough of this. enough of this, just enough. And I released it. Literally the next day, it was gone. And to prove that it was gone, I didn't try to prove it. I had to go to a doctor for a annual exam, and she confirmed, yeah, there's nothing wrong. And I was just like, wow. I mean, the power of the mind is so strong. The mind is like AI. How do you want to program it? And the world is like AI. I mean, uh, well, I also want to say that everyone is you pushed out. So if you're having disharmony with someone, whether it's romantic or just any relationship, coworker, friend, whatever it is, sibling, um, parent, you you how do you want to program you to treat you? Okay, so everyone is you pushed out. So it doesn't mean that you're programming, you're manipulating anything. No, you're just releasing. That's all you need to do for anything that you want to manifest. More money, better health, a great love life is just release. You don't have to control anything on the outside in the 3D at all. At all. And that's the hardest part. I have to say, for me, um, I struggle with that sometimes where I think, oh my God, could it be that easy to just release and that's it? I don't have to take any action on the outside. That sounds very magical and very woo-woo. Like, ugh, really? Come on. I mean, I have to do something. So it's like I was talking to a friend today and she was saying, um, we were talking about dating. Well, before I met my husband, she was telling me before I met my husband, I had to put myself out there, go on dating apps and everything. But my teacher said, no, you don't have to do that. All you have to do is release. Lester Levinson said you can lock yourself in a room and only release for everything that you want and everything will manifest. So I'm putting that to the test. I'm totally putting that to the test. Um, Not everybody wants to do that, but I think it's worth trying because that's the magic of who we are. The universe that we are and the beingness that we are can do anything. I mean, we can move mountains. And that conviction and that will, that dynamic will that we have can move mountains, can do so many things and can override the rhythm of the world. And that's what Lester Levinson said. Like, work the world shortcut. If you want to accomplish something, just set your intention and release anything that you think is in the way, which are doubts. What are doubts? Fears. That's it. That's all you need to do. It's really simple, but it's not so easy because we have so many concepts and beliefs. And what are those concepts and beliefs? They are what creates a lot of suffering. So I'm talking about breaking the habit of suffering. This is how you do it. You release the thoughts. And if you're new to releasing, have somebody by your side. Have a guide. Have somebody like me, a coach, where I can help you to see these things. I go into the energy body. I tune into you. I intuit through a reading. Like I don't need the cards. Sometimes I use the cards, but I tune into, the consciousness inside of you and what are you telling me? Okay, this is what I'm seeing going on. I'll see images, I'll hear things. I may see your childhood, I may see you as younger, older version of you that, made up your mind at that moment, oh my God, I'm not good enough. And so we do a deep dive, we go in, we see, and then you become conscious of these limiting beliefs in your subconscious mind, and then you are the one releasing. I'm helping you. I'm the mechanic there, energy mechanic. I'm like going in. I'm like, okay, let's move that out and let's replace it with what you want and what you uh and it's kind of we're working with the energy body, but we're also playing with the mind Because the bottom line is that you have it all the time. It's just that you believe that you don't. You believe that you don't have enough love. You believe that you don't have enough money. And these concepts get so embedded that it feels like impossible to release them. Because we've been holding on to these for, according to my teacher, eons, which means lifetimes. So some of them are really easy to release, these limiting beliefs, and some of them feel impossible because they feel like they just keep coming up and nagging you, you know? So it feels like we're being nagged by these thoughts. But what the beauty of releasing is seeing these thoughts as clouds. These clouds are just passing by, and so as you keep releasing, and some of these will try to keep coming up, is you just say, don't believe it. Like when it comes up again, oh, I don't feel love, I feel so alone. Okay, how does that make you feel? Oh, awful. You feel separate, you feel like you're suffering. Okay, so that thought, you're letting that thought completely overpower you. And then you have a bad day. You feel awful because, oh my God, everybody else is having a great life and I'm not, because I'm alone and I'm heartbroken because this person didn't choose me, or whatever. And this, I have to say, this can go into every area of your life. If you're feeling that sense of lack in love, most likely you're feeling that in other areas of your life, like business, money, not having enough money. It's usually across the board. So you're really going to the root cause of the suffering, and that is letting go of the limiting beliefs and feeling that the limiting belief is the feeling that you are separate and feeling the sense of lack. That's the core. You can put labels on everything else from that. But the bottom line is, if you're having a limiting belief, are you feeling the sense of lack of love, the sense of lack of money? And I have to say, Rhonda Byrne, who also has the same teacher as me, she produced the book, or wrote the book, Countdown to Riches. I highly recommend this book. And I listen to it all the time. I love it. And it is programming the subconscious mind to believe that you already have what you already have, because you do. But what the battle is, the subconscious mind that doesn't believe. So when you go through a painful experience like heartbreak, you automatically just go, see, you're proving yourself right. Oh my God, you're proving yourself right. Because what happens when we have these experiences, we think we're a victim to these experiences, but we're not. We created them. And that's such a bitter pill. And some people in the comments may be like, are you kidding me? I did not create that, Marinate on it. I highly recommend to marinate on it, meaning meditate on it. Because when you see it, you can't unsee it anymore. And you can't ever be a victim. And when you catch yourself being a victim, you're like, oh, it gets subtler and subtler. And I have to say, it's like, oh my God. I mean, I've been releasing for 10 years, but have I really truly been releasing? Maybe the last 3, 4 years. And even now, it gets even better. It's so awesome. The more you release, the more freedom you feel, the more it is so joyful. It's so fun. It's so much lighter and happier. And you feel no sense of lack. And when you do, you know that it's only your mind giving you a hard time. And when you start to experience the freedom that you really are, you're not going to entertain those, or you're going to recognize those residual, repetitive, old thoughts. They're nothing new. They're not fresh and new. They're just repetitive, and they just create more suffering. And so if and when you decide that you want to start releasing, you are going to soar into this new timeline, this new version. You can like quantum leap into as many timelines as you want. I mean, as many lifetimes as you want. You can speed up your evolution so quickly by recognizing that the world has a rhythm of holding on to these limiting beliefs, because everybody feels that they are real, that they are human, that they are these, little body minds. And the cosmic joke is that we are consciousness that is omnipresent, ever present cosmic consciousness. And we're just pretending to be these little body minds for funsies. It's part of the game. It's part of the movie. It's the dream that we're living. And we're eternal. We're always living. We never die. The body has a beginning, middle, and an end, but we don't die. Because I have to say, I'm older and I don't identify with my age at all. Like at all. It's so bizarre to me that I'm stuck in this 59-year-old body, and I'm like, what? Excuse me? Because I'm awareness, I'm beingness, and that is eternally youthful. That's what I'm feeling. That's how I feel. I don't identify. I mean, yes, my mind likes to identify and make me suffer, which I'm releasing, but my beingness is ever youthful and always alive. And that's the only thing that's going to get me through old age, because and this is, I hope you guys laugh at this, but when you're in the body, you are young for a long time. And then all of a sudden you switch and you're old the rest of your life. There's like no in between. It's like young, 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 old, 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 old. I'm on the old, 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 old section. And it is weird. It is so weird because I'm getting like all these like things on my body and like little age spots and this and that and everything. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so strange. Because my energy does not identify at all. So I want to leave you with this. Think about, what thoughts are you identifying with? And are they making you suffer? Let them go. Release them. And especially the ones that make you feel like you're not good enough. And if you can just release that and release the sense of lack and suffering, I mean, and the lack of the sense of lack and the sense of being separate, that's the whole crux right there. And then you will see your life change in every way, in every area of your life. So if this really resonated with you, you are welcome to join my community. Everything is in the description in this podcast. And I have an upcoming healing night coming July 5th, which is amazing because you can just sit back, relax, and receive the group energy healing that I conduct, and I help you. And you can come in with an intention and you can manifest that through the energy healing session with the group. It is really awesome. Everything will be in the description. And I also have a membership. I have a private Facebook group. There's so many goodies in there you can just take advantage of. So thank you for letting me do this, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If this episode resonated with you, subscribe so you don't miss future conversations on emotional healing, consciousness, and transformation. If you're ready to go deeper, you'll find links to my transformational sessions, guided activations, and free community in the description below. Until next time, remember, every thought you release creates a space for the life you're meant to live.